Tonight, Bedfordshire's traffic cops are cracking down on bad drivers.
I'm going to stop it.
Wrong side of the viaduct towards Stewart Street.
How many years have you been driving?
Not long.
With all due respect, it shows.
On the motorways.
Oh, someone didn't like it.
Down country lanes.
You've not been honest with me.
And even in car parks.
Ask if they want to ask for it.
Because when bad drivers get behind the wheel...
Who's the driver?
All too often, bad things happen.
We respond to crashes. We take uninsured cars off the road. We catch speeders. Go on that side for me. They see us as persecuting motorists. What we're actually doing is preventing accidents.
Being a traffic cop isn't just a job for the boys. Even though for PC Sam Sparks, it does sometimes feel that way.
It's a very much male-orientated world.
8:50.
Even now, there's only 3 of us. There's only 3 females on traffic.
Sam was once a professional dancer, more used to carrying out pirouettes than pursuits. These days, she dances to a different beat.
And I trained in ballet, jazz, modern, tap. So it's not a natural progression. It couldn't have been a bad decision because I'm still doing it 16 years later.
Golf Tango 850, I'm M1, but I'll turn around and I'll take that.
She swapped her dancing shoes for driving shoes and is now on her way to a serious road traffic accident.
All we know is it's one vehicle, 4 persons, possibly trapped and fire en route.
Your automatic thought is, A, how many people are injured, and B, how many people have we got going. It took me about 5 to 7 minutes to get there, and it's in a country road and it is quite bendy. It looks like complete carnage when we turn up, and you have to get right to the front to see what you've actually got.
On scene already to help her get a clearer picture is another of the trio of traffic women, Sam's best mate, PC Shona Gillan.
It's nice to always have somebody else at scene that can help you, especially when there's so much going on. It did look particularly bad. The driver was still trapped in the vehicle and everybody was rushing around, and that's always a sign that they need to get him out and pretty quick.
As soon as you can,
The paramedic at scene was saying we've got possible life-changing injuries to this male.
4 young friends were in the car when it crashed spectacularly. A local nurse was the first to come across the wreckage.
community nurse, I was on my camera returning home for dinner now. This has all happened. There was a bystander who was in the car who's disappeared, who saw the car just go out of control.
The lady was shocked, but she had the forethought and the quick thinking to make the phone call to the emergency services. It had gone into a concrete post in a tree and spun and gone across both lanes.
Yeah, it's Peter Valentine. And
one of the survivors, incredibly, is completely unhurt.
How old is he?
He's 18.
Does he have a licence, do you know?
Yeah.
You were front seat, you were front passenger?
Yeah, we were just going 60 maybe,
yeah.
And then as we come around the corner up there, felt the back go, and he tried to correct it, but as he tried to correct it, it just went to the other side, and then tried to get it back again, and then it just sort of spun straight out, and at that point I was already trying to shield myself from the crash.
It's a race against time to free the trapped driver.
Serious head injuries, and he's deteriorating quickly. Bleeding. This gentleman here.
Fair enough, good call.
The accident is serious enough to call in the air ambulance and specialist crash scene investigators.
But the passengers appeared to have cuts and bruises, but until they're taken out and assessed, they still could be serious.
The driver, we've just been told, has possibly got life-changing injuries. They're querying an internal bleed because he's deteriorated very quickly. He was trapped by his leg.
When a paramedic says to you it's going to be potentially life-threatening and life-changing, you do think the worst, and you think he's got a parent, he's got a relative that I'm going to have to go and break the news to.
New drivers between the ages of 17 and 24 are by far the most at risk of being killed on Britain's roads. Fortunately, now that the trapped driver has been freed, it's become apparent that his life is no longer in danger.
believe he'd got some sort of head injury because he'd lost consciousness, and I think it could have been the angle of how he was in the car. So that was their main concern. But once they'd got him out and assessed him, it was clear that those injuries weren't quite as bad as they first thought.
And that means no special helicopter treatment. He'll be taking the ambulance. The emergency services can be stood down. Now that the driver is not as badly injured as first thought, he's got some explaining to do.
Have you got a provisional? Huh? No, nothing at all.
I went into the back of the ambulance and explained who I am and asked if he'd like me to notify somebody, and it's at that point he told me he had no driving licence or insurance.
It's a bombshell.
No insurance, no licence.
I've run him through our police national computer, and it's transpired he hasn't got an MOT and he hasn't got tax. In fact, he had nothing.
What sympathy Sam might have had for the injured driver has flown swiftly away.
Now would be good.
Go on, go on, go on, go on, keep going, go on.
Breaking the news to his parents is going to be even more tricky now.
Initially it was quite serious, but the reason I'm ringing you is because it isn't believed to be serious now, because I wouldn't tell you over the phone. It's just to make you aware, because if you were expecting him, I'd hate for you to panic if he didn't turn up home.
I spoke to his mum on the phone. She sounded quite satisfied that he should be behind the wheel of a car, which concerned me. And I can remember saying at the time, saying to Tony, it didn't fit right that she didn't seem surprised that he was driving. But it wasn't until I got to the hospital that I realised why.
He's committed a very, very serious offence. Potentially, he could have killed all his passengers, including himself.
The task now is to find out exactly why the uninsured and unlicensed driver lost control of his car.
It was a Vauxhall Amiga 2.5 petrol, so it's a powerful one. Rear-wheel drive, so it's not the best sort of car to drive as an inexperienced driver.
There's not a lot there to actually lose control on, is there?
Apart from inexperience, another factor could be a space-saver spare tyre that's on the back of the Amiga.
Can I have recovery for what's left of this Amiga? It's now convertible and doorless.
Manufacturers give specifications for that tyre to be used on a road, and that is not more than 50 mile an hour, and to be changed at the nearest opportunity, not to be used all the time. So driving at speed on a country road with a space-saver tyre is just asking for trouble.
Luck. That's the only reason why no one was killed in this case. I mean, you've seen the wreckage of the car. You know, we've seen a lot less where people have died.
It's time for Sam to get some hard facts from the illegal driver and his passengers at the hospital.
I, as a parent, would expect the police to do as much as they could to prosecute that person. I personally, if I was a parent, would want to kill him.
Whilst they account for only 12% of all drivers, young drivers make up 27% of all the road fatalities. And of these, 3/4 are male. The Amiga driver, it turns out, has got a bad back injury.
Your mum's aware. I've given her a call. She's on her way down.
Oh no, that means I've got to see her.
I need to get some details off you. I think you and I both know that we need to have a chat.
Okay.
Yeah?
Good. And then let's go away.
All right.
You're not in touch with me.
She don't know, does she? She's going to have to find out.
I'll tell her.
You may not have that option, because I'm going to need to speak to her as well. I need to speak to all of them.
I was very unsympathetic because I was angry. You know, that could be my children in a few years' time, going out unwittingly with a friend. I don't think he realised at that time what he could have done.
They are going to find out the situation because they're going to have to, and they have a right to know. You've got to be aware that the parents are going to go mental. Yeah?
They have a right to know that he wasn't the driver he thought he was.
I don't know if you're aware, but he doesn't have a driving licence. And he's not going to insurance.
The driver not having a licence has come as a complete shock to his friends.
He doesn't have a driving licence.
You don't have a licence?
Nope.
So he hasn't passed. Or he has.
Did you know that?
No, because we got stopped in
Yeah.
He's saying he hasn't.
The vehicle was stopped with the same 4 people in it with him driving. They've been stopped, dealt with and sent on their way accordingly, so they'd have no indication to believe there was anything untoward.
I wish you'd have told me. I'm quite disappointed in him, to be honest.
But the biggest shock of all is that he even took his mum for a ride.
Spoken to his mum, she didn't sound very surprised about the fact he was in a car. It transpires that 6 to 8 months ago, he's left the house after telling his mum he's taken his driving test. 2 hours later has come home, full of the joys of Ring, saying he's passed. He's never taken his driving test, he's never had a driving lesson. So she's just found out he's been living a lie and driving her sisters and friends around for the past 8 months.
In the control room, news is coming in of another accident in Bedford town centre involving a motorist and a cyclist. Paramedics are already there, but they need help from their traffic cop colleagues. Shona is on her way.
The ambulance have called us to say that the car that hit the push bike is still at scene and maybe possibly blocking the road. On the way they said he's got a head injury, so you're thinking, right, you've got a cyclist who's been hit by a car with a head injury. If he's not got a helmet on, we could be looking at serious injury. When I got there, I saw a push bike that looked a bit sorry for itself at the side of the road.
But curiously, there's no sign of the cyclist.
This lady was driving along this, she's had a cyclist come out in front of her.
Okay.
He's hit her bonnet and caused some damage on the front. Apparently he's got a cut in his face and a cut on the back of his head, but he's got up and left.
Oh, right,
Left
okay.
his bike there.
The lady that had hit the bike was in a severe state of shock. Talk me through what happened, my love.
I just gone past this phone and then he just came out of me.
Okay.
I'm looking at man on the floor. I wasn't going fast, there's nothing, I couldn't even put my foot on the brake.
She'd never had an accident in her life, and the only time that she's realised something's happened is as soon as she's hit this lad on a bike. Because you've been involved in a road traffic collision, we obviously ask everybody to provide a sample of breath. We have a paranormal law to ask it. She was asked to supply a sample of breath even though she hadn't had any alcohol. Okay, nice deep breath. I'll hold the machine and you just concentrate on blowing. That's it, keep going, keep going, keep going. Excellent, thank you very much. And that came back negative.
A neighbour seems to know what's going on.
I just spoke to them, literally, I've said to them the police will be here.
Yeah.
We're going to try and get here by the time you got here.
Okay.
But while Shona's waiting for the cyclist, something else has caught her eye. Or rather, her ear.
I heard somebody riding their clutch and it sounded awful. Ride that clutch.
A passerby's blowing the whistle on the car and its occupants.
Hello, sir.
Report saying, yeah, people that just gone up there in that red car, they're all pissed.
Oh, are they?
Killed someone, yeah?
Right, okie dokie.
They've just gone up there, yeah?
Right.
Yeah,
Can you just have a wander down and see if you can see the index number? Yeah, no worries.
As the community support officer checks up the road on the car that just went past, a young man's turned up, looking for his push bike.
And he came back and he had a lovely white T-shirt on and he looked fine. He didn't even look like he'd been hit by a car.
Apart from a graze on the side of his face, he's in better shape than the car driver.
Yeah, sorry, it's all right now, I'm fine.
What I'll do is I'll get your details. I've got to record it as an injury accident.
Yeah.
And then that'll be how it's going to be dealt with.
It's my fault. It's my fault, isn't it?
That's right, you can just sign a bit of paperwork to say it's your fault. Do you want the ambulance lady to have a look at you?
Clarify, there has been drinking going on. Proceed, where are you?
The PCSOs found the car with the dodgy clutch.
Commercial Road, outside Salvation Army.
Can you just wait here for 2 minutes? I might have to just go and check something.
She's in need of urgent help outside the Salvation Army.
Just as the PCSO had gone to the top of the road, the car had parked up. And I heard her say on the radio, I need more units.
I'm just making my way over.
In relation to this vehicle, it's coming back as stolen.
Oh, for heaven's sake. Can you get 150 to me ASAP, please? I haven't got my earpiece in now.
Shona's got a reputation for being a woman who loves to get stuck in. But even she knows when some situations can be a little risky.
I felt that it had potential to escalate into something that could have become intimidating, which is why I asked for more units, because there was no way, as me being single crewed, I could have dealt with 4 very drunk people.
Let me just have a chat. I need to get your name, my lovely. Just come over here.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Just come over here a minute.
Shona's also known for her composure.
You can't just grab hold of all 4 of them and say you're all under arrest, because they'd all starburst and I'd be running after somebody. So I've played it down and sort of come across as being really friendly, got the driver over, spoke to him.
What's your name?
I wasn't driving the car. I just shipped myself to change over.
OK. Anyway.
I can't drive.
OK, not a problem. I still need to know what your name is, don't I?
Simon Ellington.
Although we'd seen him driving, it's not my car, and tried to really distance himself from anything to do with the car.
Leanne, come here.
The car's come back as stolen, and Shona's pretty sure the driver's over the limit as well. It's crucial no one disappears.
So have you got any tubes? Because all my tubes are up in the traffic car. You've seen him driving the motor vehicle.
I saw him get out of the driver's side.
I saw him as he went past anyway when he was curbing it up.
And then the driver on the left side and she was sat in the back.
OK, can you hold on to that for me?
As long as they believed that it was just him that was in trouble and that they weren't and they were all OK, they seemed quite happy to hang around.
All 4 are coming in. Twat.
Well, I'm getting nicked. You're sitting at the back of the seat.
Right.
Drinking. That's stupid.
Yeah, I know, but that's not our car.
Simon, can I have a word with you over here for a minute?
It's his car, it's not our car.
Right, Simon, listen to me. Right? When you went past the traffic car and the accident that's down the road, I saw you driving that motor vehicle, OK? And the reason what drew my attention to you, to know that you were in the driver's seat of that vehicle, is because you were riding the clutch.
Blowing under will be his only hope of salvation.
Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Right, OK.
Over.
My roadside device has shown that you've blown me 102, which is a lot of alcohol. That's yours.
It's nearly 3 times the legal limit. The man is going to be arrested.
No, I don't do handcuffing like that. OK? You're under arrest on suspicion of driving a motor vehicle whilst over the prescribed limit. And on top of that, on suspicion of theft of motor vehicle.
What do you mean theft of a motor vehicle?
OK, so you do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence. If you do not mention when questioned something that's
drinking without and theft of a motor vehicle.
Evidence, OK? Come over here. Right, OK. Does anybody else want an arrest?
Hey, how can you even say I was driving?
Right. You're under arrest on suspicion of being carried in a stolen vehicle. You didn't have to say anything.
Stolen vehicle?
It may harm your defence. You do not mention when questioned something which you later on in court. Anything you do say may be given evidence.
How was that a stolen motor vehicle?
It's 102 as well, not yet. OK. And have you got any more spare cuffs on them, please? Spare cuffs?
And all 4 arrested.
I've got to turn around. Check my boobs if you want.
She was very drunk, very loud, rude. She's in a stolen car. The person that's driving it is her boyfriend. He's 3 times over the limit. If he'd hit a car and she died, well, the closest place she'd be going is the mortuary.
Where's damage on your car from?
Back down the road at the scene of the bicycle accident, Shona's traffic colleague, PC Craig Baker, is picking up the pieces.
That's where you have the bonnet. There. Oh, look at the dent in that.
Basically, I come down here, that blue van was in the way, I see it. Basically, she was just coming there, I just underestimated it, basically.
It can only happen to Shona. You can guarantee she'll walk out of the station, next minute she's got a stolen car with burglars running off down the road.
Craig's treating the matter as a damage-only accident, meaning it's just a matter of making sure everybody's details are exchanged.
You got it on there, it's my fault, though, yeah?
You what? No, it's not down for me, you just need to sell insurance. All right?
All right. Like, I just underestimated and she was coming down there. I always chance things anyway, basically. I chance my whole life.
Just remember him, his face hitting the bonnet on my car and then laying on the floor.
She was extremely upset, but I think she calmed down once she knew he was all right. And at the end of the day, metal gets fixed. You know, people don't always, and both people come out of it fine.
Yeah, no, sorry.
What's your language? Using language, listen to me. Using language like that is a public order offence. You're already in enough trouble.
Right, I haven't done nothing wrong.
Don't start digging yourself a hole.
But I haven't done nothing wrong.
They're all being arrested because they're in a car that's been reported as having been stolen.
Because we didn't know when that vehicle had been stolen, and we certainly didn't know if they'd actually been involved in the theft themselves anyway.
I got locked up, they won't let me out. They won't let me out. I got locked up.
Can you just sit back?
I am. So I was in the back of a car, yeah? And what, I'm getting it for what? Oh, now where are we going?
We're going to Bedford Police Station where you're going to be transported to Dunstable.
Dunstable?
Yes.
And how am I getting back from Dunstable?
Do you have shoes on?
Well, yeah.
Well, then you can walk.
When one thing leads to another, it's not always by accident. It's sometimes by design. When the traffic cops crack down on motorists breaking the highway code, it's not always just about road safety.
A lot of the time, smaller things do lead to a lot bigger things, because a lot of the time people haven't got respect.
And the worst possible place to show disrespect for the law is when there's a cop car right on your tail.
No seatbelt.
Beautiful. Our first one of the evening.
Driver didn't have a seatbelt on, so we followed her into a parade of shops and pulled up in the car park.
Hello there. Okay, any reason why we've followed you into the car park? Seatbelt? Where was it?
Didn't have it on.
No, you didn't. Why not?
I don't know, sorry.
A lot of people think, well, what's seatbelt? It's not a problem. If that person wants to die with having no seatbelt, it's their problem. But it's not. That's not the case. Not wearing a seatbelt can kill other people. There's a lot of implications for not wearing a seatbelt. So I'll take it very seriously. Just come and have a sit in the car for 2 minutes, and we'll sort it out for you. Obviously, the only reason we pulled you over with regards to seatbelt is that at the moment a lot of people are dying, a lot of people are getting injured because people aren't wearing seatbelts.
She seemed fairly normal, average lady, going to collect her curry. Some people choose not to wear it. Some people genuinely forget.
I always put my seatbelt on.
That one time you don't know, you just happened to...
I don't think she knew why she wasn't wearing it.
Have you got any points on your licence or anything?
No, I got done for drink driving about 4 years ago.
OK, no problem. You've had no alcohol today, have you? You've had no alcohol today, have you? No?
I didn't think she thought there was going to be a traffic car behind her. She was more concerned about going to get her curry.
Picking up a curry doesn't provide an exemption from wearing a seatbelt. The woman's going to get a fixed penalty ticket, a fine of £60.
Well, I'll just give you this. What I'm going to do, because you've committed a moving traffic offence, just going to breathalyse you, OK? And then we'll let you get on your way. If you wish to contest that, you can do. All details on the ticket. OK,
I've had a half a lager today, I must say that.
So it's now gone up. Please be honest with me.
OK.
OK, how much you had to drink today?
I just had a half a lager.
We straight away sets alarm bells ringing, and while she was in the car started to smell of a brewery. So, seal your lips around the tube, give me a long continual breath, OK? Blow. Blow. No, you're sucking in. Keep blowing. Keep blowing. OK, stop there, that's good.
Her reading came back as 60, and the drink drive limit's 35.
Vivian, you've not been honest with me, and I don't like people that are not honest. OK? You've had more than half a lager. No, you failed the breath test, OK? I'm arresting you on suspicion of driving while over the prescribed limit.
I think she knew what was coming.
I had a half a lager ages ago.
Well, not being funny, OK, I'm not going to argue, but half a lager doesn't give that result. Go and grab a seat.
She'd had more than half a lager, and she knew it. All of us will stop a car for one thing and we'll end up leaving the scene with something completely different. Could have been any other evening and she would have just had a seatbelt ticket.
There's no point in crying, Vivian. It'll all get sorted out.
Vivian, although I appreciate you're upset, I am slightly disappointed because you've done it before. So you should know better.
I didn't think I was over.
Well, you shouldn't have sat behind the wheel
of
of
the
the car.
If I'd have thought that. I had my licence for 25 years before I got done before, not one point on it, not for speeding, not anything.
Unfortunately, my sympathy doesn't extend. No. You shouldn't have got in the car at all, Vivian. Even if it comes back under, you should really learn your lesson.
The problem is thinking doesn't do it, does it, Vivian?
Well, I don't know that, do I?
Well, the easy answer is don't get in a car. If you've drunk alcohol, don't take the risk.
Drunk, am I? Do I sound drunk?
I said if you've drunk, as in drunk alcohol, simple way is don't get in the car.
They're crocodile tears. They're tears for her own situation. She was sorry she'd been caught.
At the police station in Bedford, the other suspected drink driver's not showing a lot of remorse.
You're normally a cool person, then, are you?
Huh?
Are you normally a cool person other than today?
Chill, you know, I don't get in trouble usually, really. No point in it no more. I've got a lovely girlfriend.
Your girlfriend is the young lady that I've arrested? Yes. I suppose lovely is one way to describe her. How long have you been with her for?
Was she?
Oh, yes.
Oh, good.
Shown as handing the prisoner over to her sergeant to be tested on an intoxilyzer machine, the station's breathalyzer.
What are we going to find, Simon?
A bottle of methadone with my name on it.
OK, that's fine.
You could tell, whilst he was in custody, just how drunk he was. He was slurring his words, his face was bright red, and he didn't feel that he was drunk. He didn't feel that he in any way had committed any offences.
No, a T-shirt. A T-shirt.
I've seen your property now.
I just said they would give my T-shirt.
All right, OK.
Shona first came up on the air saying that she was at a crash. The next minute, I heard that she was off chasing a vehicle, and I couldn't quite work it out. And then she got 4 in custody, and it was a Shona job.
It's all yours.
OK, Simon, this way, mate. Bit of the Jack the Lad, knew it all. There's a real taps.
Simon thinks he knows of a way he can beat the machine.
Got 2p.
With a piece of copper.
I can't believe he said he was going to put a 2p coin in his mouth. That's an old wives' tale and it doesn't work at all.
Nice steady blow. Keep going, go on, keep going.
After blowing 102 at the roadside, the lower of the 2 readings recorded by this machine will be the one used in court.
You are twice the legal limit.
He's gone down quite a bit, to 71, even without a coin in his mouth, but he's still well over. The woman taken into custody on the same charge, drinking and driving, is at Luton Police Station.
There you go, Vivian. Just down this way. Have you been to this custody suite before?
I don't know.
You don't know? Got back to custody with her, where then Sam took over the station procedure.
You're not going to lock me up, are you?
The procedure will show if she's still over. All she needs is a couple of deep breaths.
Right, Vivian, come and take a stand up here.
What if I refuse then?
You'll be charged.
And I can go home?
What happens if you're under?
Well, it don't look like I am, does it? And at the end of the day, I've only had a pint of lager today, so...
But she's not interested in wasting her breath.
You will not go home until the custody sergeant is happy that you can be dealt with. So don't think by not blowing, you're going to walk out these doors now. If you want to walk out these doors now, the best bet is to blow on that. If you get a reading that's under, you do walk out the door now.
No, I'm sorry, I don't
apologise to me.
It's in your interest for Vivian to provide.
Vivian, do you want to blow?
Last time I blew into that machine, right, I was locked in a cell. I was through in a cell,
Vivian.
should I say.
Vivian, you've got 3 minutes to do this.
If you want to walk out these doors now, the best bet is to blow on that.
Initially, she'd said to Craig that she'd had nothing to drink. And then I was aware she'd had half a lager. And as the evening progressed, it slowly increased.
I think you're trying to think you can trick the machine. You can't trick this machine.
But the more she was trying to cover up, the bigger hole she was digging for herself.
We're going to run out of time. Right, it's finished now. Because you didn't provide 2 specimens in the allotted time, you will be charged with failing to provide a specimen of breath.
Vivian hasn't learnt from being caught drinking and driving before.
She could have blown under and she could have walked out, but she played the system, she tried to stall for time, and she tried to cheat the device and blow across it.
Come on in, Vivian.
Despite a fall in drink-related deaths on the roads in recent years, the number of drink drivers being caught that are repeat offenders is worryingly on the rise. When they can, Bedfordshire's traffic cops like to take out the brand new unmarked Vauxhall Vectra VXR. It's strange, but it's true. They like to imagine that it's their own, even down to making sure it's all nice and clean and shiny.
Whenever we have the opportunity, I quite like going out in the plain car. I think you see a lot more. I'm not saying we like to sneak up on people all the time, but if people see a marked police car from a distance and whatever they're doing, they'll either put their belt on or put their mobile phone down. In this, we can do a bit of hiding, and that makes our job a little easier. When you pick up the keys from the locker room and you go out, you see the car, it's always nice to give it a once over, and then if it needs a wash, we'll give it a quick little wash.
One of the things the traffic cops love to use the car for is speed enforcement. Catching speeders when virtually invisible is like shooting fish in a barrel. Today, an old hand, PC Keith Nicholson, has got the keys to the Vectra and is going fishing.
I joined the police force in 1974. I did 4 years doing general police work, and then I came on to traffic in 1978.
And they're quite regular down here for 130 miles an hour.
Keith is the oldest serving frontline police officer that I've ever come across, and nothing really phases him. He joined traffic the month before I was born, which I take great delight in reminding him at every given opportunity.
One of Keith and Andy's favourite places to park up and snare speeding motorists is the Barton Cutting. It's a 1 mile stretch of the Luton to Carlisle A6, where some people like to really put their foot down.
And we've used unmarked cars for checking speeds for years. Ever since I've been on the traffic department, they've had unmarked cars.
Speed guns have been around just as long as well. This one uses a built-in laser.
And it just throws out a laser beam from the front, hits a shiny surface like a number plate and bounces back. It was 88. We can do better than that. We're not out to catch those that are 5, maybe 10, 15 miles per hour over the speed limit. It's the ones that are going to cause accidents and that are seriously exceeding the speed limit that we're concerned about.
After a slow start and a few tiddlers, they've got a big un, a seriously fast Audi TT.
I became aware of the vehicle when I could hear it more than see it. He was going so quickly and I just couldn't get a lock on him with the speed gun.
What are you playing at?
As he went past us, I turned to face the direction that he'd driven towards and was able to get a lock on the rear of his vehicle, and that showed that he was doing the speed of 116 miles per hour.
116? You ain't going to see it again.
Rather than sending a speeding summons in the post like fixed cameras, when they use the laser, the cops prefer to hand them over personally. But that means some expert, rapid catching up is required. Some say his name is Keith. Some say it's really something else.
A very, very fast, very smooth, very safe driver. One of the most respected drivers on the division, and hence has earned himself the nickname The Stig.
Andy's caught sight of the speeder in the distance.
Where?
There was a set of brake lights just past this junction. They're reasonably distinctive brake lights on a Audi TT, and I was confident that that was the same vehicle. Top of that hill's it.
The Bedfordshire Stig is in his element.
Someone didn't make it.
We were probably quarter of a mile to half a mile behind him. It's only because of Keith's expert driving, his local knowledge, and perhaps didn't have the same motivation that we've got, that we were able to make up that distance. He's doing 60 and a 30.
The speeder's finally twigged he's been stigged.
It's going to be the surprise of his life. I think he was very surprised to see us. Evening. Out you get. When he saw us loom up behind him in a plain car, go on that side for me, and then suddenly flick the blue lights on, I think he was more than surprised to see us. Well, jump in and we shall explain all.
OK.
Hello.
Hello.
Why do you think we've stopped you then?
I was going too fast.
You certainly were.
Yeah.
Before I talk to you about that, I have to caution you. He didn't seem too bothered at first. What's the speed limit on the dual carriageway?
70 miles an hour.
It certainly is. What sort of speed do you think you were doing?
Don't know, quite fast.
Give us a guess.
About 100.
OK. As you passed us,
yeah.
You were doing well in excess of 100, and I measured your speed. I'll turn up the display. 116 miles an hour, right. And that's as you were driving away from us,
yeah.
At a distance of 259 metres, OK?
Right.
It's then taken us a good 10 minutes to catch you, and you've had your foot flat to the floor all the way from that Barton cutting. You were doing 60 for a 30.
Yeah.
Is it your motor?
No, I work for Dunstable, the customer's car. I'm just dropping it back home.
Oh dear.
I'm sure he'll be overjoyed at knowing you've been driving it like such an idiot.
The customer's car's just been in for a quick service and an even quicker return.
You're so far above the threshold that I cannot deal with you by means of fixed penalty.
Right.
Normally, I would just write out a ticket, you get 3 points and a £60 fine.
Yeah.
I can't do that because of the speed you were going at.
Right, OK.
So, you're going to be reported to court. OK, I just need to take a few more details. Is there any particular reason you were going that fast?
No, like I said, I've just finished work. I was just thought, it's my own fault. I was just wanted to get home. There's no excuse, I know.
To me, getting home is no reason for going flat out through country roads. You're certainly well within the realms of a disqualification.
Right.
Okay.
Losing the job as well, then, I suppose.
Well, it was your foot to the
floor,
wasn't it?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. It's not your guys' fault.
All right. Thanks for your time, then.
OK.
Keep it down, please.
Yeah. No worries.
If he didn't have his foot flat to the floor, then he wouldn't have got himself in that situation. Yeah, he might be looking at a disqualification, but I wasn't driving the car for him. I wasn't forcing him into it. He's got no one to blame but himself.
He'll probably need another service now.
Yeah.
Most customers wouldn't be too impressed to know that their car had been flying back to them.
Speed kills, we're always told, but the truth is, accidents are far more likely to be the result of poor driving standards. PC Tanvir Hussain is, as always, on the lookout for drivers that are a menace on the road, like the car coming up to the roundabout in front of the blue car ahead.
He was driving with no lights on. As he went round the roundabout, no lights on at all. I think he's managed to put them on now. So it looks like he's just started up, so we'll just have a little chat with the driver, just see where he's come from, where he's going. Just do all the checks, make sure his documents are in order.
Parking like that begs the question, what on earth?
To be honest, I was thinking drink driver. The vehicle and the driver just decided to stop in the middle of the road.
The driver is, in fact, a woman.
Hello, you're right. Can you just park up on the left somewhere more suitable? This is not ideal at all.
OK,
please, OK? Because there were cars behind me and vehicles oncoming as well. So I asked her just to move forward and park her vehicle in a more suitable place. Only to see her park it right on the junction, in the mouth of the junction, technically blocking it so no vehicles could come out or even turn in.
To make matters worse, she's now on the phone.
Right, leave your phone alone. No, get off the phone. Okay. Leave your phone alone. Park your car, to reverse and park your car in there, because this is not ideal.
Okay.
Keep coming. That'll do. Look how she's left it now. She just has not got a clue. It was a nightmare, to be honest. It was at an angle, and I'm thinking, is this the first time she's driving this car? Is it her car? How many years have you been driving?
Not long.
Not long, no.
Yeah, not long.
With all due respect, it shows her, unfortunately. Just do me a favour, bring your driving licence with you, and come and take a seat in my car, please. Just a quick chat.
Of course, sure. So I brought my license.
Okay, any identification? Something with your name on it? Bank card, national insurance card or something like that?
Is there anything the matter, please?
Sorry?
Is there anything the matter?
I wish to speak to you about the fact you were driving with no lights on.
No, I made a mistake when I was turning around the roundabout. You know, I wanted to traffic here, and then I made a mistake and realized I put the light off. That's why it was just a second, if you could remember. I made a mistake and just turned it, and so I said, oh my God, you know. And then it was a mistake, actually.
Okay, fair enough.
Mistake.
Have you got anything with your name on it? If you just bring it with you.
Not sure.
Alarm bells were ringing, thinking there's a bit more. Just take a seat in the back for me, that side, please.
Forgetting to put your lights on can happen to anyone, and nothing more than a gentle reminder's normally needed. But it's becoming clear to Tanveer he could be onto something else.
What kind of licence are you driving under?
I got a provisional license. The thing is that I've been driving all this while my husband, but I got some visitors at home, so he wasn't able to leave them on call.
Okay, before I ask you any further questions, I have to caution you, tell you do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention now something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be... She says she's a care worker, so she's working night shift, and she was on her way to work. You should be supervised.
Yeah.
There should be somebody with you, and you should have L plates. So I've got some bad news for you, unfortunately. Your vehicle's going to be seized, and you're going to be reported for that offence. Okay? They had some family friends round who they were entertaining, and that's why her husband could not take her to work. But I didn't buy that for a minute, to be honest.
The woman does have insurance cover, but she's having her car seized under Section 165 of the Road Traffic Act for not having a valid licence.
There you go. If you can find some identification, please. Otherwise it'll be a fingerprint or photograph. She didn't grasp the idea that she should not be driving because she has a provisional licence. Clearly not safe. That's why people have to take tests.
Yeah, I get it. So baby student for her.
She stated initially that she had no identification on her. She then went and had a little look in the car, and whilst taking some of her property out, she returned with a provisional licence.
That's my license.
So you did have something with your photograph on it?
I had a lot of
come
food.
on.
I had a lot of food. I had too much food in my bag.
I thought you were trying to hide this from me, if I'm being honest.
I can't hide it.
No, I knew I'd find out in the end, but it would have been nice just to...
No, I couldn't hide it because...
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Right, what do you want from the boot?
I just want to check if I get some stuff.
I don't like being lied to. I'm a fair guy when it comes to dealing with people. You'll get your respect if you give me my respect. She knew she was in trouble, and it was a matter of, let's hide this from him.
As the recovery truck arrives, so has the woman's husband, and it's his car.
Have you spoken to her on the phone? Has she explained to you what's happened?
Yeah, I want to take my car. You don't need to take it away.
No. Because she's on her own, okay? She has a provisional licence. She has not got a full licence, no L plates, okay? The reason the vehicle's being seized is for that reason. I was expecting a bit of a disagreement as to why we've taken the car, why I've seized the car. It happens all the time.
Come to collect the car.
No, it doesn't work like that.
No, that's the policy. I know the policy.
Do you know it better than me?
Yeah, I don't know better than you. I don't know who is right, but she's been driving because I'm at home with a few friends.
The thing is, if you...
I'm not in any way arguing, but
Definitely not, sir. The moment I speak to control room, I said, right, I need this vehicle recovered. That is it. There's normally no turning back. For me, that's job done.
The man will have to visit the pound now to get his car back. There's never a dull moment for Andy and Keith in their unmarked Vauxhall Vectra. A car that's been stolen is being chased, and it's heading in their direction.
An armed response vehicle called up on the radio saying that they were behind a vehicle, that vehicle was failing to stop for them.
You've got a feeling he's going to come out here, mate.
See why?
No, keep going.
The Stig has taken a back seat for now.
It can be very daunting knowing that someone of that experience is sat next to you, and you just want to impress him. You just want him to think that you're a good driver.
The plan is to take out the stolen car's tyres with a Stinger.
We're able to park up, and Keith ran to the boot to get the Stinger out.
But they're a fraction of a second too late.
He's literally got it in his hands as we watch the stolen car flash past us.
That's it.
Closely followed by the armed response guys.
Sorry, mate.
They've had a stroke of luck. The car's gone down to a roundabout and come back their way.
I've stopped, turned round and got behind the stolen car.
150's coming back. If you're at the roundabout.
150 is the call sign for Craig and Sam. They're up ahead and about to join the fray. Only pursuit-trained traffic cops are allowed to tackle high-speed pursuits, so they need to overtake the armed response officers.
Ask our RV to let us through.
They've quickly caught up with the train of vehicles.
Sorry, ask him to let us through.
850, the Foxtrot unit, can you let us pass?
The car thief thinks he can escape on the motorway.
We both had the sense that this could turn into something because the potential of danger is so much more greater on the motorway because of the speed of the vehicles.
X-Ray Alpha 99 is Bedfordshire's police helicopter. Its crew specialises in helping the traffic cops. It can get to most chases within minutes of liftoff.
Shot 9, we're now second car. Shot 9, thank you.
It's gone midnight, and fortunately traffic is light on the motorway. But that's not much consolation for Sam.
It's a challenge being a passenger because you can see and you can give the updates as to what's happening. But we have the helicopter that takes over the commentary. You are completely out of control. There's nothing you can do.
99, we've got visual. Contact commentary 99.
The helicopter crew have had no trouble picking up the pursuit, chiefly because of their thermal imaging camera.
I've got 2 pairs of traffic units and an ALV in pursuit of this at the moment, coming up to junction 11 at this time.
Things are hotting up. Keith and Andy in the unmarked car are still right on the car thief's tail, and he's trying desperately to shake them off.
It's weaving across all 3 lanes, no regard for other people's safety. The longer it drags on, the more risk of something going wrong at the end of it. Ask it if they want to ask for it.
There's an exit coming up.
It's going to go off, mate. It's going to go off.
He's gone for it.
You're going to...
It was tight enough to make Keith cringe. That's got to be pretty tight because not a lot phases Keith. I knew it was very tight. I think there was probably a fag paper between my front bumper and the cones that were leading up to the off slip, and I think there was probably slightly less room between me and the white van. So if white van man's watching, sorry.
From above, the car thief's last-minute manoeuvre and Andy and Keith's close shave can be seen as they take the exit.
I knew myself at the time that I'd made the wrong choice. Keith can say 1,000 words with one raised eyebrow.
The stolen vehicle is heading into Luton and potential danger.
Sorry, Sam.
Big 108, left, Dunstable Road towards Luton.
Its driver is so desperate to get away, he's speeding up a one-way street. The wrong way.
Yep, no, vehicle leaves wrong way, Springbury Park, still on Dunstable Road towards Luton Town.
Very busy high street, forcing other cars out of its way. It's then gone pretty much flat out over some speed bumps, and we were able to see the sparks coming off its exhaust as it banged into the floor.
The kamikaze driver is putting innocent lives at risk.
Wrong way round the R8, wrong way round the R8.
And the wrong way up a dual carriageway. At these speeds, and with the driver so reckless, the chances of an accident are enormous.
I'm going to stop it.
Craig and Sam are seriously considering calling off the pursuit.
I'm not going down the wrong side of a dual carriageway for nobody. You always want to catch someone, but you've got to be careful you're not getting into a net of red mist. At the end of the day, if that guy gets away, he gets away. You could see, as we was going alongside him, on the right side of the carriageway, I was absolutely sweating because coming towards him, there's 2 lines of traffic. So he had nowhere to go, and it was only luckily he turned off, literally, before having to head on one of the vehicles.
Losing the traffic cars is one thing, getting rid of the eye in the sky, quite another.
Towards the post office, stand by. Yep, it's Exchange Road, vehicle is Exchange Road.
target vehicle is stop, stop, stop.
The man's out and running for his life. To succeed, he'll have to outrun the cops and hide from the chopper's camera.
To decamp, exchanged road.
Andy and Keith have lost ground. Because of the dual carriageway, they've had to go the long way round.
I saw his car close up against some bollards in an alleyway, and his feet running off in the distance.
No one shows a clean pair of heels to the Stig and gets away with it.
Victor 205, Kilo Lima.
But Keith had seen him going up and over this brick wall, and all credit to him, Keith was up and over it.
Craig and Sam are close behind.
There was confusion because 1 minute he was running in front of us and the next minute he'd vanished.
But he hasn't lost the chopper.
No, that's the officers. He's on the other side of the wall that you just run across.
Yes, sir, we are monitoring.
Bear left. He's on your left, running parallel to you now. On your left now.
Once it's focused on you, you've got to be very lucky to get away from it. Very lucky.
All of a sudden, there's a problem. Andy's realised the missing man could be heading straight back to the car he stole.
So I went back to secure the car and make sure no one nicked our one.
The cavalry has arrived. It really will take something extraordinary for the car thief to escape now. But it looks like he is trying something extraordinary.
Hangar 305.
Yeah, no, he's breaking into the house, stand by.
Just getting told it on the radio. So we don't know, is he breaking the house? Does he live there? What's he doing?
Open the door!
This one here, I think it is.
On the ground, there's confusion over which house he's in.
Has anyone come in front of your house?
Do you know what? To be honest, I just thought I heard my front door slam.
Can we come into your house?
Yeah, of course you can.
99, is it the one we're going in now?
It's this one?
Let's go.
Do you know what?
The helicopter catches him going into a house but doesn't see him come out the back.
He's still in the premises, so you don't have to do a full search of that house.
Is it this house he's coming to?
Yeah, no, those officers come out the back. He hasn't come out the back, he's still in the premises.
It's going on 1 in the morning, and the cops and their noisy chopper have woken the whole neighbourhood.
633, confirm that you've got him, Yes.
It's not for nothing, though. The car thief's been caught at last. Not in the house, but in a garden across the road. While the helicopter may have lost sight of the fugitive, a wide-awake neighbour hasn't. She's found him hiding in her shed.
For the time he went into the house, he's gone straight through an L, which helicopter initially missed.
The man's been caught and cuffed. Even so, he still wants to fight the law.
Shut up! You collapse then, we'll drag you.
It's normal, isn't it? There was some height distance between me and Craig, so it probably was a little uncomfortable for him.
I'll be happy for the seat.
Get in and shut up.
Get in.
Just get in there, fella.
You can see that, it's just ridiculous. He's driving there. You saw, you can't follow him. I'm not going to go down the dual carriageway. At the end of the day, public safety is paramount.
You can talk to us now?
Off, man.
Is that your first name or your last name?
No, mine, I'm telling you to because when I asked you to let me walk normally, you wanted to drag me like a dog, so you.
Yeah, how did you get in there?
Well, I dropped down about 20 foot of wall in there.
You're right.
And I followed him.
Good for you.
Where did you come from?
Out there.
Proving he's still nimble, Keith had his own little adventure in the lady's back garden.
I ran round the back to where he was, and the helicopter had said he'd gone over the wall. So I looked over the wall, and there's about a 12-foot drop. So I lowered myself slowly over the wall and dropped down. But then when I was in the premises, whatever it was, I then couldn't get out the fence. It was most of the like sharp rotating blades on the top of it, and eventually I had to take my jacket off, put it over the top of one of the fences and climb out that way.
I think he caught his arm on the top of the wall and it just shrugged it off and took it all in his stride.
A check in the stolen car has uncovered something interesting.
There was some silver foil and there was a bread knife in there as well.
I mean, he hasn't got that in there to carve his bread up, has he? Tin foil is generally a sign of somebody who lives on drugs.
Unless, of course, it was the remains of his packed lunch.
Oh, wait,
sweet. Can I have my jacket now, please?
You can walk to the custody area.
Can I have my jacket, please?
Can you walk?
I'm walking, I just want my jacket.
What time? What time?
The aggressive car thief has been taken to the police station in Luton.
Can I have my jacket now, please?
No.
Why?
Because I said so.
Well, I'm in the custody suite. Just pass my jacket here, please.
He was very angry, probably very disappointed that he'd gone to all that effort to escape and had been found.
Keep your arms out to your side, all right?
Listen, stop touching my arms. I'm not going to have a firearm down my nutsack.
You tell me.
I'm telling you now, come and have a look for yourself and save the box.
Keep your arms on your side.
Oh, listen,
When they were going through the booking in procedure and he gave his name, something rang alarm bells with me.
Cook is someone Sam suspects might have given the police the slip after a recent altercation.
There was a stabbing in Union Street in Bedford the other day, and he's responsible. He's the offender.
So I had to make a couple of frantic phone calls. Assault ABH, just by pure chance, because I'd been at that job and at the job that evening, that I remembered his name and he got arrested for those offences as well.
Just listen carefully.
Anthony, there's an outstanding incident that happened in Bedford a couple of days ago, where I'm further arresting you on suspicion of causing ABH ×2.
It was pure chance as well that nobody was hurt after his crazy driving.
Do you drive like that for just being in a stolen vehicle? We've got to stop that vehicle and we've got to stop him. He carries on driving. At some stage, his odds are going to end and he's going to hit something.
It was more a long goodbye than au revoir for Anthony Cook when he was sent to prison for 18 months and banned from driving for 3 years after he pleaded guilty to dangerous driving, failing to stop and damaging property. The charges of assault and possession of a knife were dropped because of a lack of evidence. The woman who found parking problematic was fined a total of £85 and given 3 points for driving otherwise than in accordance with a licence. The woman who'd only popped out for a curry but got caught drinking and driving was disqualified for 3 years for failing to provide a specimen, and to rub it in, she was fined £60 for not wearing her seatbelt. The other drunk driver, who was only caught because he was riding his clutch, got a 20-month ban and a £100 fine. He wasn't charged with taking the stolen car, but he did have it forfeited. His girlfriend and the other passengers were released without being charged. The driver, who worked for a local car dealer, caught speeding in a customer's car, was fined £315 and disqualified from driving for 14 days. And the young driver who crashed and injured his friends after pretending he had passed his test was fined £240 and given 6 points on his licence, when he eventually gets one.